and Chief Strategy Officer here at Hoist Group. Before I carry on, Matt, can you hear me okay? And can you see?
Yes, we can see you and hear you very well, Simon.
Fantastic.
Okay, so
There's a Zoom update sent out by Zoom yesterday, and I know that some people have had a few issues with it. So glad that you confirmed everything is okay. Welcome everybody to this next Hoist dashboard training session. Today we're going to look at guest devices and preferences, and we're going to see how Hoist dashboard can help you gain a deep insight into consumption of services at your hotels, how the system can help profile guests for you, and even add emails to your database. We'll also touch on a lot more subject matter. I will be joined today by the usual panel of subject matter experts, including Mr. Luigi Cardillo, who has presented a number of the insights to date. Luigi is a customer success manager based out of our Milan office. Mr. Hilal Alam. Hilal is responsible for all matters product management. He's based out of our Geneva office. And finally, Mr. Francisco Martinez, who has also presented a number of the sessions. Francisco is on his way to join us now. He is a key account director and is responsible for much of the development on the commercial side, the inputs to Hoist dashboard. And over the next 20 minutes or so, I will walk you through an online demonstration of Hoist dashboard. I really want this to be an interactive session, okay? And we thrive on your feedback, so do not hesitate to pose any questions you have. And you do this by clicking on the QA button that you have within the Zoom taskbar. And once we've completed the online demonstration, we will open up the floor to your questions. And we also have the ability to go back into the screen sharing mode to drill down into specific requests or requirements. So as I said, don't hesitate to raise your hand literally or virtually as it may be when you want to speak. I'm going to share my screen now, so let me do precisely that. Screen share, here we go. Can you confirm that you can see it, Matt?
yes, Simon, we can see the login page of the dashboard.
Okay, great. So as you can see here, Hoist dashboard is a web tool, and you can access it from literally anywhere and from any device. It is username and password protected. And what's more, you can assign specific access rights to individual users or user groups, meaning that your marketing team see one view of dashboard with a set of widgets and reports, finance sees another, IT another, and perhaps general management sees everything. That's really for you to decide at a hotel level, and we're of course more than happy to help you in formulating those decisions and showing you how to create those authorizations for the different teams. And what's really nice about Hoist dashboard is that it is fully customizable. I've just logged on. As you can see there is the option to add individual widgets or to add all widgets. And what we're going to do is go to add widgets in a moment, but before I do, why have these two different functions? Well, again, if you want to assign different responsibilities to and views to different team members dependent on their function at your hotel, then you can go in and tailor the widget view for that particular person. And if you have any queries on that, do reach out to your local Hoist Group office, who'll support you on that, or contact us at the usual address, marketing@hoistgroup.com. Today, I'm going to select add a widget. And here is the full list of widgets available to me. There are many, many to choose from, more than 20. You'll see that some are not available, and the widget pool that you can choose from is derived from the services you take from Hoist Group. So you may see other widgets there that are not available, and that is likely to be either because you don't take that product or because a specific interface is required. And again, in all those instances, either get in touch with your local Hoist Group office or contact marketing@hoistgroup.com. The widgets are also filtered by category, and if we deselect business, you'll see that the widget view has changed. And this is all really there to help you navigate through Hoist dashboard and your Hoist dashboard. That's the whole point of customization here. You'll also see when I hover over the icon on the left-hand side of the screen that we have the ability to extract and schedule reports. A little later, I'm going to show you how to do this. What we're going to do is actually extract email addresses for guests using your high-speed internet access platform, which, as long as you can have their consent, is something that you can add to your database and expand the number of people you can directly market to. And this is just one of the many ways in which Hoist Dashboard can help you drive your business. And more on that in a few moments' time. Let's get back to the widget selection for this morning. And I'm going to select 4 widgets, 3 of them relevant to what I'm going to show you, and one of them is not actually relevant, but it will be relevant when I explain why in a moment. What I'm going to choose here is the Internet Access Portal. I'd also like to select Hotel Service Portal hits, current client devices, and as a 4th, I'm going to select TV and radio channel status, although that is not covered in today's discussion. So I've got 4 widgets out of the pool of 25 or so selected. I click on Return to Dashboard at the top right here. And what happens is it creates my personalized dashboard view. The reason I selected a 4th one is because it's red, and I'll come on to the color coding in a minute. The other 3 widgets that I wanted to review with you today are all in green, but I wanted to show you the difference between red and green. So as I've shown, I think a few times already, the widgets are drag and droppable. You can place them wherever you like in the screen. You can change the order of them and the settings. It's really up to you to personalize your own dashboard. Once you've got a setup that you really like, you can also pin them. And if I pin them, then they can't move, okay? So that's my, or your, should I say, personalized dashboard setup. And what you have here is what we call the simplified view. There are more in-depth views that we will drill down to literally in real time in a few moments. But the idea behind this simplified view is that we appreciate that you working in hotels are often doing many things almost always at the same time, and you don't have the time to fully investigate lots and lots of lines of data. So what we've tried to do is make things really simple for you. And what's more, Hoist Dashboard records your widget choices, and each time you log in, it'll present you with your personalized selection. You don't need to go and reselect widgets from the Manage My Widgets tab up here. You can also remove widgets. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But let's focus on the 3 widgets in question for today, okay? Sorry, before I do that, my mistake. Let me just explain the color coding system here. So the 3 widgets that I originally selected are all in green, and this means that the service that they are corresponding to that you take from Hoist Group or through a third-party interface is functioning within the parameters that you as a hotel have set. And what does this mean? Well, you can set parameters to give you a simplified view or even create alerts, which will mean that the service operates within the boundaries that you want that service to operate. And to set a parameter, it's very easy. Let's take the current client devices here. If you click on Edit Alert, you will see that there is a qualifier here, and there is an alphanumeric value that can be inputted. You click on Save. And basically what we have here is a threshold of 500 users in 500 current client devices. This may be a limitation that you've defined upon your network as something that you want to be told about. If the number of devices goes above 500, you'll see that there are currently only 10 connected devices on your network. Therefore, you're below the threshold. Therefore, the widget view, the simplified widget view, is in green. Now, if the widget view is in red, that means that something is not operating as it should be. And again, we know you're very busy people, so the whole idea of this simplified widget view with the simple traffic light red and green symbols here is that of the 4 services that I see here in my personalized view, I don't need to worry about 3 of them because they are operating within the thresholds I've set. What I do need to look at is why this one is red, and the reality is that there are 7 channels down. I can drill down to it in more detail, and this is something we covered last week on the Wi-Fi and the Entertainment Insights. We will make all courses and all training sessions available to you at the end of next week, so if you did miss that session, just download it or just watch it, I think in real time on video, on YouTube or whatever format Matt will send it out to you in, and you'll be able to see the details of that, okay? You can also set alerts within the widgets here. Again, you're not always sat in front of your computer at the hotel, and although this is available on multiple screens, so you could look at it on your mobile or your tablet as you're moving around the hotel, the reality is if you're in the middle of a a client request, or if you're off duty, you may not be looking at your screen. So the simple way to mitigate against this and to avoid sort of bad guest experiences is if you click on, sorry, not the widget help function, my apologies. If you click on the edit alert function, you also have the possibility to enable an alert, okay? An alert will cover a time period that is defined by you. It comes to you as the user setting it up by default, but as you can see here, I can also add email addresses of other duty managers or general management within the hotel or the marketing department if it's something specific to marketing, so that when I'm on my day off, if something goes out of the thresholds, then the relevant people within the hotel are alerted to that fact, and they can take the necessary steps through Hoist Dashboard, interrogate further to avoid any bad guest experience. It also means that you don't get contacted and interrupted on your day off, and we at Hoist Group love you all to have days off occasionally. We don't want to be the ones who mess it up for you. So the point here is choose your thresholds carefully, discuss that with your local Hoist team, or come to us at marketing@hoistgroup.com and we will point you in the right direction. Decide on what services you want to really focus on in terms of the widget pool, and also make sure you get the right distribution lists set up so that you can operate your hotel in a very efficient manner when it comes to Hoist Dashboard. You can also remove widgets too. To remove a widget, you simply click on the three dots, go to remove widget, confirm it's done, and you'll see that that widget has disappeared. If I ever wanted to reinstigate that widget or choose other widgets, simply go back to manage my widgets, and again there is the full pool available. Select on one that I want to add, click on return to dashboard, and hey presto, there I have my evolved widget set. So it doesn't have to stay set in time permanently. You can change the widgets depending what you're really focusing on that week or that month, or with a new service introduction or whatever it may be. So let's now focus on the three widgets we're here to look at today. And we've talked about training on guest devices and performances. And the first widget we will take a look at is the current client devices, which is this widget. Immediately, I can see that for this demo location, and the reason this is a demo location is that we want to protect confidentiality and customer data in light of all the GDPR regulations. It's only fair to protect your data as much as your competitors' data, although I'm sure you'd love to see your competitors' data. Unfortunately, we're not in a position to present that. But excuse me, I can see from this immediate view that there are 10 client devices connected. We checked the threshold a few moments ago, and that was 500. So I am operating well within the service parameters that I have set. If I click on the three dots here, I can change the widget view. We go from simplified, which we're in now, to the advanced view, and that will give me access to a bit more information. So it expands the 10 users, and it tells me that 6 of them are active and 4 of them are inactive. What's the difference? I hear you all shout. Well, once you associate to our networks for the first time on the Hoist platform, even if you're inactive, we keep an association of your device to that network, so that when you come back from dinner or whatever it was that was causing you to be inactive for a time period, you don't have to go through the process of logging in again. The network automatically recognizes that you have valid access credentials, and therefore it seamlessly brings you back into the network without having to go through that process again. And this is really the benchmark and the sign of an at-home like Wi-Fi experience, which should be the norm today in hotels. We can also see that although there are only 10 users online now, we have peaked at 25 over the course of the last 24 hours. And this can be particularly relevant for a number of reasons. If usage is growing, and in collaboration with some of the other widgets that we have demonstrated to you in this training course, you can start to monitor network performance, and you can start to see where the peaks and troughs are, and really start to understand if you need to upgrade your network coverage or if you need to upgrade your bandwidth. And this can all be done through Hoist Dashboard. Again, go to Wi-Fi Insights and Entertainment Insights and some of the network reviews that we did with Luigi end of last week, beginning of this week, and you'll be able to review all the widgets that are applicable there. Conversely, if there were a bunch of complaints last night, you can also see from the data and the fact that it is time-stamped, if you look at the hovering that I'm doing there, that this coincided with peak usage on the hotel network. So again, it starts to point me in the direction of where I may have an issue. So this is very, very valuable data, not just from an IT perspective, but also from a guest service quality perspective. And if I expand the view again and we go to the enlarged, I get even more data. I can now start to see manufacturers' devices. There's Apple, Samsung, Huawei, there could be many more. I can see the device type. And it's interesting here that of what, 18, 28, 35 devices online in this property, 28 of them are mobile, either a mobile phone or a tablet. You know, the usage of laptops is in the minority. If you looked at this graph 5 years ago, it would be very different. And this has implications for you as well, because if somebody's on a laptop, the chances are they're sitting at your desk in your hotel room, at their desk, sorry, in your hotel room. And if coverage is okay at the desk, then they're going to be fine. But if they're on a mobile or if they're on a tablet, they're mobile and roaming around your hotel. They will go to literally every corner of it, the bathroom, they will go to the bar, they will go to all sorts of places. So if your Wi-Fi complaints are increasing, you know, have a look at your Wi-Fi and check that coverage is good for all areas of the room or all public areas, because usage is changing. It's not people sat at desks just people sat at desks anymore. It is other areas of the hotel. And it also shows you the operating system. Why would I care about this in a hotel environment? Well, if Android did a major release last night, or iOS for that matter, and the release went bad, you can track this to individual devices. And the point here is that you can show the guest that not only are you on top of the issue, but it's got absolutely nothing to do with your hotel. So this is a lovely way to, you know, informatively prove that this is not a poor guest experience, you know, sorted by, driven by the hotel and its network. This is actually, you know, third-party activity. And to expand on this further, let's go into widget drill down, which is the broadest view you get in the widgets. We'll come on to reports in a second. And actually what you start to see here, if I scroll down to the lower half of the page, is a lot of data per device that is active on the network. Some of the data you can extract, I mean, there's lots of it, what time they went online and offline, how much data they download and upload, what their total traffic is. You can see if they used an access code, what access code they got on with. You have the VLANs here. If you had the PMS data associated, and this was a PMS authentication, you would see their room number, which allows you to zero in specifically on individual complaints from individual guests. You can see some signal strengths. You can see lots of other data here, the radio types. You can even see which access points they were associated to. This is all quite complicated stuff, and really the point for today is to give you an overview of what's available. It would make best sense for you to sit down with your local hoist representative to go into detail on how to practically use this for troubleshooting. But we're trying to keep the session to 20 minutes today. So again, if you've got any further questions, ask us at the end of those 20 minutes. Or indeed set up a one-to-one demo with your local team, or contact us at marketing@hoistgroup.com. But even if you don't have the guest's name or room number because they're not PMS authenticated, you can still drill down in a way that I think you simply weren't, or we as an industry weren't afforded until very recently, you know, to understand, you know, what is going on with your guest devices in your hotel. Let's return to the dashboard and let's go to the second widget that I selected. If you want to go back to the simplified view, you just again change the widget view again, and you go to simplified, and that widget will go back into the simplified view. Let's now go to the Internet Access Portal. Let's feature it here in the center of the screen. And basically through Internet Access Portal widget, you can see the amount of traffic onto my portal over time periods that you can define, and you can extract more data on that by going into the reporting function. Okay, let's go to the advanced view. Again, click on the three dots here, select advanced, and you'll see that I've had nearly 2,3/4 thousand visits. And again, you'll see device type over the last 24-hour period. And if I want to change that period, I can select specific periods on the drop down here, or I can go for a different time period altogether. And the system system will automatically recalculate and recompute. Remember what we said about mobile devices? Well, actually 86% of all the usage in terms of going to your internet access portal is driven by mobile phones and tablets. Only 14% of that traffic is driven by a laptop. Again, so really you should be engineering your hotel and your hotel operation for a mobile environment, okay? And if we go to the enlarged view, again, click on the three dots, simply select enlarged, we get even more data again. And this is where it starts to get really, really interesting. Not only do I have the number of accesses for the time period that I've defined and the data on what it is, what device clients are using, but I can actually start to see here the authentication methods. And why is this relevant? Well, hang on, let's go into this in a second. I can see that 40 of my guests access via a voucher. I can see that the next largest one is social media. So people are signing into my platform through LinkedIn or Instagram or other social media. And if I hover on the middle here, and again, I can extract this all through reports, I can see what are the predominant social media that people are using to log in. You may not have this set up in your hotel today, but all these are options that are available to you. The third largest category for login is through PMS authentication. This is the classical first name, surname, or surname and room number, or any combination thereof for PMS authentication. But by far the largest category for accessing the guest internet in this hotel is via what's called email. And what that means is it's a simple click to connect solution for Wi-Fi, but the hotelier is asking the guest to enter their email address as part of that login process. And we think at Hoist Group that that's probably a right and fair thing to do in return for the constant investment you're making in high quality, fast and free internet. If guests are getting advantage to this wonderful service, ask for a little something back. Don't ask for too much. An email address is probably about right. You could ask them for lots more data. And the benefit of doing this is that in return for asking them for a little bit of data on them, through the reports function over here on the left, you can actually extract that data. And as I mentioned earlier, you can add it to your marketing database and you can contact and market to and distribute to these guests directly, even if you didn't capture their name in the PMS. And that's the important part. So it's just as relevant for public areas in your hotel, for drop-in guests who are just coming in to have a sandwich and a cup of coffee, as it is for guests in the room, okay? And let's click on the reports function. The reports function is a very powerful part of the Hoist dashboard. These are predetermined reports for existing customers. I can also go in and set up a new report, and I might not know what it is that I want to set up. So there are a whole bunch of predetermined templates, as well as the ability to set up bespoke reports. Again, contact your local Hoist office or marketing@hoistgroup.com for further information on how to do that. But we're talking about internet here. So I select on the select template, I type in internet into the search bar here. And what it pops up with is 4 different types of report across 2 different categories, operational, business and usage. And what we're talking about here is internet users data harvesting. So if I click on that, the next thing I can do is select a time range. I can either take a predetermined one or I can select a specific range. So if there was a particular group in a hotel at any one time and you wanted to see what their usage of the internet was, in able to enhance their service the next time they come in, you can start to track that through the Hoist dashboard tool. Okay, you can add 1 or multiple hotels here. This is the demo location, and you can filter by other means as well on brand level. You can choose which login methods you want. In this case, we'll go for all. And most importantly down here, and this is the bit you may well need help in, these are the data fields that you input into the report. And as you can see, they are varied and there are many of them, not only where the hotel is, especially relevant if you put multiple hotels in here, but what are guests' preferred languages? Very important, we'll come back to that in a minute. how they prefer to get online if you offer multiple options to them. Again, it's all about refinement of your guest service, who they are, if you ask them for that information, what their gender is, what their age range is. That can often be derived from sources such as Google Analytics or perhaps even through certain of the social media, email addresses, phone numbers. This is all very valuable data that you can extract from your usage. You can also choose how you want that report to be presented, either in Excel or PDF format. There is a text format available, but just not for this report. And what's more, you can enable scheduling. So let's say that you have a marketing meeting at 1 o'clock every Thursday. You would select weekly. You would select a delivery time. Let's do it at 12 o'clock in time for that meeting. And what's more, you can add a distribution list of all the heads of department and the marketing team and the general manager to that email distribution list. You click on save and hey presto, it's all done. You never need to touch it again until you want to modify the report or change the report. But let's say it's a Monday and you haven't extracted the report since last Thursday and you wanted to understand what the usage was here. You just go back into the report and you click on export, and that will create the report in real time relevant to whatever time period that you set for it. I'm going to show you the report now, but rather than go into the data here, I'm going to take a real, which is for a demo location. I'm going to show you an anonymized report that I took yesterday. Let me share to a different screen. Matt, can you see that now?
Yes, Simon, all good.
That's great. So this is real data. I've changed the hotel location name. I've also changed the emails. If it was firstname.lastname@gmail.com, I've deleted the first names just to anonymize the data. But you can see here by the date, by the method, and there's only email enabled for this hotel. Again, you could put in these other criteria as a login. You have got essentially a comprehensive list of email users excited about, because this is something you can add to, as I say, your databases and your distribution. Okay. Let's go back into the widgets. I'll stop sharing this screen. Just 1 second whilst I navigate. Apologies for the delay. Stop the share and restart it. Tell me when you can see it again, please, Matt.
Yes, we can see the dashboards.
Super duper. Okay. Let's go back to the widget view again. If you're in reports or if you're anywhere else and you want to shortcut back to the widgets, hover on the second icon here, it's the speedometer. That gives you access to the widgets. And what's interesting here is it takes you back to exactly where you left off always. You don't have to go in and reopen the widgets. This is the enlarged view that we looked at last time we were looking at the widgets. So when I'm flipping between windows or when I'm flipping between screens and reports and widgets, I don't have to reopen it every time. Okay. The final thing to mention here is if we go to the largest expanded view on the widget drill down, we can also extract data over specific time periods. Again, forget about the date range here. This is a demo location, but you're able to pull out the total connections, you know, a view of the access types, the languages, the number of users, and a whole load of other data in between, which is all great marketing information, all designed to help you improve your service delivery and, more importantly, better understand your guest. Let's go to the third widget we're going to investigate now. This is the Hotel Service Portal. The Hotel Service Portal, or HSP as we call it for short, is a web app. And it is something that we offer as part of the Fusion Guest Internet product. And it can act like an in-your-pocket e-concierge system, and data can be customized from multiple feeds into it. More importantly, we can also get a lot of data on what guests are looking at, also on your TV portal, on your internet portal, and within the HSP itself. We can see statistical information. On average, they're looking at it for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. We see how many pages that they are visiting. We can see a bounce rate as well of how many start but don't finish the process. Okay. Why is this important? Again, I've slightly got my sort of marketing hat on here. If we can see where guests in my hotel are navigating, then we've got an opportunity to refine the content in the pages that they're navigating to. This can be done through any systems integration, through third-party systems, through whatever tools you use to modify the content, and in the Hoist Group environment through our unified content management system, which allows you to change the look and feel and the messaging on multiple screens within your property. And this is very powerful in the digital age. So you can start to see language preferences here, and you can monitor this over time. So if German as a language is growing, and the focus of the guests here is on city guides, you know that these guests are coming primarily for tourism, and that it's probably worth investing in a low-cost translation into German for this part of your service offering, because the traffic justifies it, and it may well make the difference that drives loyalty and return visits, and even positive word of mouth in the core German market for you. So use the data to understand your guest preferences, their languages, what they look at, what they don't look at, how long they look at it for, what the evolution is over time, and you can really start to customize your service delivery within the hotel to address the identified needs of your guests. I've been talking for a fair while now. I think it's probably time to open up the floor to you, our esteemed colleagues, and more importantly, our customers. I'd just like to finish by saying that just in these short viewpoints that we've seen in Dashboard today, hopefully we started to get the thought process going that there is a lot of opportunity out there through the existing systems you take from us that you may not have even known existed today. So see this as the start point in the journey, and we'd love to spend more time with you on a one-to-one basis to show you the real and full power relative to the specific services.